Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine on the escape of football, because that's what football is at the end of the day, isn't it? Football is an escape. Football is an escape from the reality of the cruel world, of course, what's going on right now. And you know what? We're just here to bring you news about Manchester United. And of course, hopefully we'll be having some good news coming up very, very soon, guys. But guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Mbeumo deal is done. I said it. Brian Mbeumo deal is done. 63 million plus add-ons. But what's taking so long? Why are we not announcing it? Now, many people have hinted at this over the last couple of weeks in regards to Man United dragging it out until the end of July. And this could be a whole, to the end of June, shall I say. This could be a whole number of reasons. One of the reasons being that Man United want to basically drag this out so that they don't have to concentrate on other players yet and they can take their time. Or it could be the fiscal year or the financial year, which is most likely, of course, of the 1st of July. And Man United could be waiting for the 1st of July to get their deals done. And obviously, you look at players like Diego Leon, is going to be coming in on the 1st of July. But the Mbeumo deal is done. I've said it a few days ago. Other people are following suit now. I said it a few days ago. I've heard that the talks between Brentford and Man United were very, very positive, around 63 million plus add-ons, equating to about 70 million the deal is going to be. So that deal is almost done. And great. That's great news. And to be honest with you, hopefully that we'll have a here we go very, very soon. The way Man United are doing things at the moment, I'm not happy with it. I am not. I don't like the way Man United are moving at the moment in regards to how quickly they're doing things. They're very slow at the moment, and it's very, very concerning how slow we are acting in the transfer market. But obviously this Mbeumo deal, 10 days ago, Man United made their first bid for Mbeumo. 10 days ago. And now we've sorted it out, but it's taken too long. It's taken too long, and Man United need to get a move on. And we've been saying this for the last few weeks, of course. And of course, I'm not going to be here and start ranting and raving and screaming and shouting. But people are asking, why is it taking so long? Why can't we just get the here we go? Because Man United were trying to do an installment plan. That's what we're trying to do. The deal will equate to about 63 million, but that doesn't to about 70 million. But that doesn't mean that Man United are not going to do it in installments. Man United will do the deal in installments. So Man United are trying to do a deal with Brentford. Of course, Brentford are looking for another striker at the moment. They're looking around for another striker. Rumours is that they're going after a proven Premier League striker. Mitrovic has been linked with Brentford as well. So that is good news, because at the end of the day, maybe Brentford are looking, for a replacement for Mbeumo. But obviously different positions. But there you go. But Brian Mbeumo had talks with Man United, agreed terms with Man United. Man United had talks with Brentford twice. Have had positive talks, and the deal is basically done. Man United know what they have to pay. Brentford are not going to move away from that price. So Man United, they either pay it or move away from the deal, because they're not going to move Brentford. I think that's a fair price. I think 63 million plus obviously incentives, added up 70 million for a player that scored 20 goals last season is relatively good. I think it's not bad. I think that's a good, return, for a Premier League attacker at the end of the day. So it is really, really about being patient. I know that all of us have been really patient, and I know all of us have PTSD, and we're frustrated about it. This is where communication comes in. It's exactly a simple case of communication. Going to the media, yes, we're talking to Mbeumo. Things are going well. Blah blah blah. Not having to find out what's going on, what's the news, what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? It is very, very frustrating, of course, guys. But there we are. Obviously, there's going to be a number of strikers also being linked to Man United. One of them is Kouali Mawani. He is, of course, been linked to Man United before. Good player, Mawani. I just don't think Mawani fits what Man United need. He's another kind of, again, an Ekitike, dare I say it, kind of player. Playing at number 9. Can he play that number 9 position? I mean, when we think about Mawani, we think about the World Cup, don't we? And stuff that missed and everything like that, which could have changed the course of history, couldn't it? At the end of the day. But you know what? Mawani, for me, not for me. At the end of the day, I would much prefer another striker, to be honest with you. We're going after a lot of players at the moment, and it is getting a bit treacherous with the amount of players we're going after. So the news broke today, of course, in regards to Mr. Moani, Manchester United have shown an interest in Kolo Moani. He is happy at Juventus, but is open to other options. Chelsea open to concrete talks with PSG. Juventus hopeful of getting paid loan by a plus option. Now, that is from L'Equipe, obviously a very respected French journalist, of course, a newspaper outlet, of course. So that is quite serious. That has legs. That is quite serious. So Man United being interested in Moani, but then again, we've been interested in Moani before, and nothing really materialized. I think that Man United are not in for any strikers right now. We're basically inquiring at the moment, like sort of flirting with the idea of bringing in the striker, but we're concentrating on getting Mbeumo through the door first. And once we got Mbeumo through the door officially, then we can move on, you know what I mean, and move on to the striker situation, which is frustrating. I know it's slow. I know they're very slow. They're the slowest top 6 team in the league. That we are slow at doing business. And you know what? I hope it does. This isn't a theme that goes on for the next few weeks and months and stuff like that. Really hope not, guys. And I really hope that we don't go until August, because I don't want that happening either, because Man United have got a lot of work to do. I am a big supporter of Ruben Amorim. I want Ruben Amorim to do well. I'm praying that he does well, but he needs the tools to do that. You know, we're sending him into a sword fight with a breadstick at the moment. This is what we're doing. We got one player in there. And of course, there were rumors yesterday about Ruben Amorim being frustrated at how slow the deals are taking and stuff like that. And I don't blame him. They are absolutely snail pace. Guys, let's read some of your comments. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is good, my friends. Hope everyone is good. Right, okay. Big up, Lucky Singh. How you doing, my friend? Bloody lot of messages, Lucky Singh. Big up yourself, but big up, Lucky Singh. John O'Connell, Mount to Villa. Look, yeah, Mason Mount. There was a lot of been kind of rumors about Mason Mount going to Villa. I would love that, John. I would love Mason Mount to go to Villa. At the moment, there's not really any legs in regards to that story. It's seen that Ruben Amorim likes Mason Mount. He likes Mason Mount. And to be honest with you, would we be able to get some money for Mason Mount? Excuse me. It's those crackers I had. Not that crackers, the crackers. Proper crackers, yeah. So would we be able to get some money for Mason Mount? If Aston Villa want him, go for it. I would love that. But at the moment, I don't think there is any solid stories in regards to this. Look, I sound like I'm underwater at the moment. Look, my goodness me. I sound like I'm underwater. Definitely. No, but no, there's no solid. I mean, it must be the Mason Mount thing. He must be turning off my mic. You know what I mean? And stuff. Big up, Yale. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Kolo Moani, sweet potato strikers are getting worse and worse. Give me Vlahovic instead, please. At the end of the day, Vlahovic's wages are going to cost. This is the biggest problem with Vlahovic. I like Vlahovic. Everyone knows I like Vlahovic. I've spoken about Vlahovic a lot on this channel and many, many months. He's a great striker internationally and obviously for his club Juventus, guys, and obviously at Fiorentina as well. So what I would say is that the problem with Vlahovic is Vlahovic's wages are astronomical. 350,000 a week, guys, for Vlahovic. Crazy, isn't it? That kind of money on Vlahovic. And what Man United won't pay that amount of money on wages. You know, obviously it can be exaggerated. There is new rumors coming out and that from the media saying that he gets 350. It might not be that, but what I'm hearing, it is quite a lot of money that he does get a week. Of course. Big up, Natty. What's going on, my friend? Good afternoon, Sal. We are linked to Kolo Moani. We can get better than him. I agree, Natty. I agree with this perspective. I agree with this. I agree that Man United can get better than Moani. Let's not be. I'm not being snobby. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being like, I'm self-entitled. I'm talking like, Moani is not the kind of striker that Man United need right now. Man United need a number 9. Man United need a proper number 9 who could put that ball in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? Someone like that. Moani's not prolific. For me, he's not prolific. He scores the odd goal. He gets goals, but he's not prolific. He's a 15-goal-a-season man. Man United need a 30-goal-a-season striker. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time since we had one of those, isn't it? A 30-goal-a-season striker. I mean, when was the last time we had one of those? Was it Van Persie? So is it true that we are strongly linked with Richard Reed according to Alfredo, not according to Alfredo Padula, according to Sal Warner, spoke about it many times in the last Natty over the last few weeks, guys. It's recycled news. Man United have always been interested in Richard Rios. Man United were interested in Richard Rios last August, last July, like a year ago, last June. And we spoke about Richard Rios back then. And the problem with Richard Rios back then is that the price was going up to about 90 million, which is stupid, I know. And now, even now, the market value of Richard Rios is 20 million, but they're asking for 60. Man United are interested in Richard Rios. They've always been interested in Richard Rios. Don't need Alfredo Pajula to tell me that. I've known that for a very long time. I've got connects in South America. I know that, guys, but more than them. You know, Man United are interested in a number of players, including Richard Rios. Richard Rios is a player we admire. I like Richard Rios. Really, he's an animal. He's an animal. If you think about Licha Martinez as a midfielder. That's Richard Rios. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need. That kind of grit, that kind of bite in that midfield. Do you know what I mean? I like him a lot. I like it a lot. But at the end of the day, what I would say is that we are way away from actually signing a midfielder at the moment. We're very concentrated on a number 10 and getting Mbeumo through the door and a striker at the moment. That's what Man United are concentrating on. We're like literally one deal at a time. Do you know what I mean? 1p at a time. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. And we knew what we were going into when Ineos came in. Big up, my friend. Sal, is the new stream schedule? Is there a new stream schedule? No, Sniper Man. But I would say this, Sniper Man, my friend. I would say this. I'm doing streams now, especially Chatterbox. Breaking Dawn will always be the same. Breaking Dawn will always be the same. But I'm trying to get a good time for Chatterbox because Chatterbox, you guys decide. You guys decide for me. When's a good time for you guys for Chatterbox? When is it a good time? And I will go by what you say. But I'm doing 7 o'clock because obviously I've been very busy during the day these days. I'm doing other things as well. So I've been very busy. So I've been doing it about 7. My time 7. UK time 4 o'clock. So where I do it is 7 o'clock. So you know what? It's good because I want to catch as many of you guys as possible. I want to speak to as many of you guys as possible. Those who can't join me on the morning show, I like to speak to you guys, obviously, and hear your opinions as well during Chatterbox, of course. Thank you so much, Natty. Much love to you. And big up Danny B. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. And big up Tybor. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Well, good to see you all. Good to see you. Ineos and Glazer out. Stephen Maguire. I co-sign that message, my friend. I agree with that. I am absolutely fed up, to the back teeth of them already, although I'm going to say this, that there is going to be a surprise in the making. There's going to be a surprise. They're going to pull a rabbit out the hat. Believe me, guys, this is why I'm not getting giddy. They're going to pull a rabbit out the hat and we're going to be like, what? How did that happen? Trust me, guys. Remember, Sal, I said it before the Europa League final. They're going to pull a rabbit out the hat and we're all going to be like, wow, that was a great signing. What a signing. But I won't because I know that what he's doing at this football club, it's not just about one player. It's about a number of players. Man United need 10 out, 10 in. Really, I mean, obviously, like if we're being realistic, if Man United want to challenge the powers that be, we need 10 in. Simple as that. You're looking at Liverpool now and Liverpool are looking strong. Of course they are. They're doing their deals effectively and ruthlessly, how Liverpool always do it. And I hate to say that. I hate talking good about Liverpool. You know me. I hate talking good about Liverpool. But the thing is, we have to look at them and say, well, you know what? At least they get their deals done quickly. At least they get their deals done effectively and quietly without all this commotion and circus around the deals. The problem, Man United, we have a circus around the deal. And this is the problem that we've been facing for many, many years. We always announce things before they've actually happened. I mean, you look at your Keres, for example, announcing that he's announcing to the world that he doesn't want to go to Man United. Man United haven't made a bid yet. Why does it always be Man United? Why always me, as Balotelli once said, of course. Big up, Bill. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, everyone. Hope you're good, Bill. Thank you so much for joining me today, you legend. Big up, Danish. Big up, Danish Kumar. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well, brother. Absolutely. Big up Stephen Maguire. Hope you're doing slow FC. Absolutely, Stephen. Very, very slow. Absolutely. Big up Natty. Your shirt is amazing. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the compliment. Absolutely. And you're gone absolutely forever, Mr. Insider. You're gone out of this stream. You do it all the time. 3 agreed, 62 million plus 5 million. Yeah, nearly 70 million. Like you see, we're 63, I say, but we're nearly there. To be honest, we're nearly there. We're going to get there, of course. Sniper Man, Sal, I am scared Man United to panic buys at the end of the window at this rate. Sniper Man, there's always room. There's always room for pessimism. There's always room for that, and I agree. I understand that. Man United will get deals done, and let me tell you this right now. Man United will also get last-minute deals. So what's going to happen is this. We're going to get some of the work done. Some of the work done that needs doing is going to be done early. Well, kind of early, July, probably, and then the rest of the deals are going to be done maybe when the season starts, maybe just before the season, maybe a couple of games in the season. That's what's going to happen. Now, when we do this, we leave Ruben Amorim handicapped. And the problem is what I want to emphasize. I want to say this. I cannot stress this enough, guys. If we don't get the business done, if we fail in this transfer market, right, and we don't get the transfers in that we're supposed to be getting in, right, I don't want people turning against Ruben Amorim. I don't want anyone turning against him and saying it's Ruben Amorim this, Ruben Amorim that. We all know who the real issue is here, because no matter who the manager is, you know, if you don't give them the players that they want, if he plays a unique style of football, if you don't do it, you can't blame the manager again. It'd just be insanity to blame the manager again. And that is one thing I would like to stress to everyone at the moment, guys. Now, in regards to Sancho and Antony, guys, there is a possibility that Jadon Sancho could go to either Napoli or Juventus, guys. There's also Inter Milan are hovering about at the moment, but it is really and truly Napoli who've been speaking to Sancho. They admire Sancho. Now, if we get this deal done, if we manage to get Sancho out of this football club, I would be like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Because a couple of weeks ago, we're looking at Sancho and thinking, who on earth is going to pay 250,000 a week, 300,000 a week for Jadon Sancho, given his history, you know, his misdemeanors and all that stuff, you know, on Twitter and everything like that. Who on earth would want to buy him? Napoli seen that club. I've got a soft spot for Napoli, obviously. You know, but, you know, it's strange that, you know, and if they do manage to get that over the door, fair play. I would give everyone Ineos credit where it's due. If they manage to get rid of Jadon Sancho, fair play. In regards to Marcus Rashford been speaking a lot about Thierry Henry and his favorite players of all time and stuff like. We don't really care what your favorite players are all time. Rashford, you said Cristiano Ronaldo a few weeks ago. Maybe you fell out of him because he gave you a little rollicking when he came back to Man United because he told you about the birds and the bees. Maybe that was the case. But anyway, look, what I would say is that I'm not too bothered about these PR interviews from Marcus Rashford and the actual sucking up to Barcelona and stuff like that. I think it's embarrassing what Marcus Rashford is doing. The blatant sucking up to Barcelona. Barcelona don't want you, mate. This is the problem. They don't want you. You know what I mean? It's a bit like, how do I say? It's a bit like Britain and America. You know, America sucking up to America, Britain or sucking up to America, and America don't really appreciate them like that. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. I'm British, by the way. But, you know, what I would say is that, yeah, look, you cannot expose yourself. What I'm saying, you cannot just leave yourself out there for take me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to give yourself a little bit of self-respect. And he's lost a lot of self-respect for me. Not a Manchester United way of acting. Definitely not. Absolutely not. 100% not a way of Manchester United for a player should be acting. Absolutely not, guys. But in regards to Sancho, going to Napoli would be great. Man United aim to make up to 55 million for Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. If they do that, fair play. Fair play if they do that. Even though, guys, Antony alone is worth 50-odd million. Now, I'm talking about Sancho and not Rashford. I'm talking about Sancho and Antony. So Antony alone is 50 million, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But if we manage to get rid of Sancho, doesn't really matter, does it? We get 55 million for the both. Two birds with one stone. Dundee dusted, all good. But Antony's done very well, and Antony's got a value. As does Garnacho. Rashford, however, is, you know, he's not got a value for Barcelona. Barcelona don't want him. So at the end of the day, Man United could possibly make more money if we sold, as my guy said earlier on, if we sold Mason Mount, Man United could make up to 70 million, 60, 70 million, 70 million roughly, 75, around that much. So that would be good. And that can go straight into the transfers, and that would be great. Although I would stress, Man United have lost Eriksen, Man United have lost Lindelof, you know, as well. And we've obviously lost Johnny Evans as well. So we're 3 down already. And then we're going to lose Rashford and Sancho. We're 5 down. If we lose, obviously, Antony, yeah, we're 6 down. You know, then obviously if we sell Mason Mount, we're 7 down. So obviously, you know, Man United, Luke Shaw's 8 down because Luke Shaw's not going to be playing football for Man United anyway. So we're very handicapped in regards to how many players we've got at our disposal. I know we ain't got the Champions League. I know we've not got European football, but we still need a squad, guys. For goodness sake, our squad is getting slimmer and slimmer. Hopefully some of those young players come through and make a name for themselves as well, of course. Sniperman. Also, have you noticed that this deal is taking longer than the Ugarte transfer? I'm not sure about that, Sniperman. The Ugarte transfer was it took about a month and a half. The Ugarte transfer actually dragged into the Premier League season. The Ugarte transfer, we were literally, you know, what we were panicking that we're not going to get this deal done, but he got it done. But the problem with the Ugarte deal is that Ugarte didn't have any preseason, guys. He had no preseason. You know, so he walked into Man United in a different league, completely different environment without any preseason. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. And me, I need a haircut, guys. My hair is very, very long. I will be having one this week, so don't you worry. I will be doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not like United Strand. If you ever heard of United Strand, you know. He's not cutting his hair until Man United win 5 games in a row. And guys, I will have United Strand on the show hopefully next week. So look forward to that, guys. So look forward to that. It's going to be funny. If you look at if you know about United Strand, go and find him out on TikTok and stuff like that on YouTube. United, not United Stand, United Strand, Strand. He's going to be on the show next week. So I'm not doing a United Strand with my hair and stuff like that. But you know what? It is what it is. We told Sancho if he wants to move, cut his wages, a football career. These people, at the end of the day, Lucky Singh, these people, they don't care about their careers. At the end of the day, they're more interested in their brand and the money that they get. Unfortunately, it's the nature of who these people are at the end of the day. As I said earlier, I said it earlier today. A lot of these players, they play for Manchester United only by name. They don't have the DNA of what Man United are. They don't understand what Man United are. There's few players in the world football that understand what Manchester United are, what we represent. And Sancho is not one of them. You know, I would have thought that a player like Marcus Rashford would have understood what Manchester United meant. He obviously doesn't, or he's obviously forgotten, or he doesn't feel about it anymore. He doesn't feel for the club anymore. That could be a case as well. But, you know, one thing I would say is that those people who don't understand what this football club is about need to be out the door. And they need to be out the door ASAP, guys. Is Fabrice says, here we go, needs permission from the club? No, Hesty. Basically, the here we go is not an official announcement of... by the way, I'll be having Fabrizio on the show very soon, guys. So watch out for that. It will come like that and you'll be like, what? No, but anyway, guys, what I would say is that in regards to here we go, it's not an official declaration of a players signing for the football club. It's not written on paper. It's not signed, sealed, delivered. Basically, all it is that Fabrizio is very close with journalists. He's very close with, most importantly, the agents of the player. He's basically he will basically call the agent, or the agent will call him, or have a little WhatsApp conversation. And it will say, here we go. The transfer's done. We just, the necessities, blah, blah, blah. You just need to sign the papers, blah, blah, blah. And that is what a here we go is. It's not coming from the club. It's coming from Fabrizio and the agents. So that is basically what happened. So the club, it comes from the club when you see the player sitting at that desk with his pen in his hand like this, with a little smile on his face, with a little pen and a smile on his face. That's when it comes from the club. But, you know, like Cunha, I really hope that Cunha, I can't wait to see Cunha play, because Cunha reminds me of a Manchester United player, by the way. He reminds me of a Man United player. He really does. Let's get into this. Yale, question. Is it Brentford that is dragging it out as United? I know Brentford want a bidding war so they can hold it out for the club. They're not going to get a bidding war, Charlie. No one wants to pay that amount of money, unfortunately. Tottenham have pulled out of the deal as a subject to popular belief. Tottenham have pulled out the deal. Tottenham are actually looking at players like Jack Grealish and Eze at the moment. So Tottenham have got a whole number of players out. What it is, that once a player accepts a deal, basically accepts a contract from Man United, accepts the terms and conditions from the club, then the players go into that club. It's very rare that the player would turn around and not sign for that club. The only one I remember doing that was Mikel of Chelsea, who signed for Man United, actually held up the shirt of Man United and ended up signing for Chelsea. Of course. So what it is that Brentford and Man United are negotiating a fee, but it's not about the fee. We agree on the fee. Man United have already agreed on the fee. That is already known. I knew that. But Man United are trying to organize a payment plan. So a payment plan basically means that do we have to pay you 63 million now? Or can we pay you 20 million here, 20 million here, 20 million there? And not only in the financial side of things, this also is to do with FFP and PSR and things like that. So all these things on top take time. Now, if we were someone like Liverpool, if we were someone like Man City, if we had Qatar owners, it wouldn't really matter, because you just pay the money, player in the door. And that is what it is. At the moment, unfortunately, we don't have those people anymore. Sadly, we don't have those people who could just throw the money down and say, there you go, 70 million. Take 75, there you go, and get the deal done. Do you know what I mean? That Man United don't do that, unfortunately. And, you know, if Man United miss out on Mbeumo, I would just pack up and leave, because I've been told by people I rely on that the deal is done. and Man United are just ironing out the finer details of the deal. And obviously now people are jumping on it, and other content creators are jumping on it at the moment. No, it's not signed on the paper, but it never was going to be signed on the paper in June. It's going to be signed in the paper in July. So when he goes in front of the TV or in front of the media and the manunited.com, that is when it's official. Do you know what I mean? But when it goes Ornstein Bomber, when it goes Fabrizio Romano, here we go. That is basically done, isn't it? 90% done, 95% done. Of course, barring something ridiculous. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing, you lovely person? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. Big up. Jada Sancho, if one football clear than 215,000 a week. Big up, my friend. Natty, we have to be fast about Mbeumo because we lost all our strikers' targets. We are not fast. I agree, Natty. I agree with this. The problem is that taking our time with the Mbeumo deal, which we have done. Let's not forget, as I said earlier in the show, that 10 days ago, we made the first bid for Mbeumo. 10 days ago. And we're still hovering about this deal, faffing about on this deal. And, this is very true from Natty. And I agree with this because at the end of the day, we're going to end up missing out on other targets, in the striker areas, the midfield areas, the right back area, the goalkeeper area. We will miss out on targets. Look, unless they have something under their sleeve, unless it is radio silence, and there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that they're not telling us about, which I doubt, then we have every right to be concerned about that. But, they could turn around next week. Tomorrow is next week. We could turn around and say, here we go, 2 players for you. You know what I mean? That would be amazing, isn't it? Do you remember the last time we did that? Do you remember when Man United came out and signed a bunch of players? And we were like, what? It was under Alex Ferguson. We signed Nani. You remember Anderson? You remember that? You remember when we signed those players at once? And we're like, what? Just like that. Just like that. You know what I mean? Like the comedian says. Was it Mr. Cooper? Absolutely. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. And it was like, wow, we're moving. We don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. We're like faffing about, payment plans and stuff like that. And that is not Manchester United. I know it's not Man United. Man United shouldn't be doing that. We were successful for 30 odd bloody years. You know what I mean? We hardly spent like we should have done. Man United could have been buying. Listen, when Man United were winning everything under Sir Alex Ferguson, we could have went out and bought your Del Pieros, your Roberto Baggios, your Zinedine Zidane, your Edgar Davids, your Clarence Seedorf. We could have done that, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that. As fact that we spent money, of course we did, but we weren't the highest spenders. Liverpool spent more than us in the 90s, by the way. At the end of the day, we could have because we accumulated so much money. Now we're in debt because of the Glazers, because of Ineos, and etc. And you know what? It is sad that we have to sort of work out a bloody payment plan like a mortgage to get a player, which is crazy, isn't it? At the end of the day, big up Natty, of course. Big up Natty. It's a transfer window. I know it's frustrating. I get that, absolutely. Sniper Man. Sal, we're getting linked with Lunin for about 50 million. Who do you think is better at the moment? Martinez, Vanya, or Lunin? For me personally, at the players you've given me, Sniper Man, I want Vanya. I want Milinkovic-Savic. I do. Out of them ones, I would like Milinkovic-Savic. The reason I like Milinkovic-Savic is because of the age. I also believe that he was admired by Alex Ferguson. So Alex Ferguson, back in the day, had to sadly leave the football club. He was playing for Man United, had to sadly leave the football club because of contractual. I think it was a work permit issue in regards to that. And Man United couldn't get the deal done, unfortunately. But I like Milinkovic-Savic, but that's just a preference. I like Martinez, but Martinez is too much for his age. I wouldn't want to pay Man United to pay 40 million for that because that money could be spent elsewhere. It would be a waste of funds, in my opinion. Lunin's a good goalkeeper, experienced goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper as well. So I look, for me, it would be Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. My favorite goalkeeper, apart from Donnarumma and the obvious goalkeepers, of course, out there. I mean, I like Verbruggen as well. I like him. He's a very good goalkeeper, but I like Seny Lamens. And I've said it from the beginning. I like Seny Lamens. I think he's the next Courtois. Incredibly tall, strong, powerful. I was a big fan of Kova as well at Leverkusen. Obviously, Man United have a buyback clause with Kova, of course. So Man United can get Kova for about 15 million. Let's remember that. Kova's a Bundesliga winner. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But why would Erik ten Hag buy another goalkeeper? He probably doesn't rate him either. Because you remember who got rid of Kova from Man United? It was yours truly, Erik ten Hag. Now he's putting Kova at the back of the list at Leverkusen, bringing in the Brentford goalkeeper, of course. Absolutely. Madness. Shako, what's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? Do you think we say as a striker to partner Mbeumo will be a perfect fit? Shako, what's going on, my friend? I just think that it's too predictable. I just feel like, you know what, when you bring two players in from the same club and you put them together, sometimes it doesn't work as effectively as it would have done at Brentford as it does with Thomas Frank. It did with Thomas Frank, to be honest with you. Wieser's a good player. I'm not saying that Premier League proven, but I don't know. I think that would be right down the list of players that we'll be going after. I don't think Man United will be going after Wieser, to be honest with you. Again, Premier League tax as well, isn't it? And dealing with Brentford at the moment, I don't think they're going to sell us Wieser as well. Big up Kenny. Beckham on Rashford. Hard to hear him call himself Yamani the best when I remember how electric he was at 17. Not sure if it's flattery or a pitch or to Barcelona. My advice, cut the noise, find the fire again. Thank you, Beckham. Thank you. Speaking just like a true Leytonstone lad like me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, spoke it perfectly. Stop talking. Stop telling us who your favourite player is. We don't really care who your favourite player is, mate. Get on, put your head down, work for Man United, or bloody get out of the football club and try and find yourself a new football club and improve as a player. Does he want to play in the World Cup or not? What does he want to do? Does he want to play in the World Cup, or does he just want to talk trash every single day? Yale, my guy, big up, Sal. I'm not sure Amorim is the right man for Man United. I personally think he will struggle next season, and teams will find out next season. Well, let's wait and see, Jake Snell. You know what? At the end of the day, what I would say, Jake, is if he's not backed, then I'm not going to blame him, because at the end of the day, you know what? Look, let me give you the example, right? What I would say, right? I would say this, right? If they do not back Ruben Amorim, they might as well get rid of Ruben Amorim now. That's what I'm saying right now. If they do not back Ruben Amorim properly backed, they might as well get rid of him now, because he needs the players to fit that system. He needs players who are going to fit the distinctive style of play that he plays. If they back him to the kingdom come and they get all the players in, right, then I would say, you know what, I want a significant improvement from Ruben Amorim. I want us to be Man United again. And if we are in a similar position, I'm not talking about 15th here. I'm talking about Man United as 7th, 8th, 9th again. It's gone. Man United need to move on. No, it's not ideal. No, yes, it's too early. I know that. But football nowadays is a cutthroat business. If they spend 500-600 million on Ruben Amorim, which I don't think they are, by the way, then you can blame Ruben Amorim. But if they don't bring in the players that he wants, then we can't really blame him. But at the same time, if they're not backing him, why have they got him at the football club? Why have they got? You might as well get bloody Sam Allardyce there and Gareth Southgate and players like and managers like that if they're not going to back him. Big up, Jake. Gio, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Good to see you. I have no trust in a nana. Join the club, mate. I've lost my trust in a nana. I believe that when you're in your late 20s, you know what I mean, you shouldn't be making the mistakes that he's been making. Cost us the Europa League final, in my opinion. I think most goalkeepers would have saved that goal, of course. Unfortunately, he didn't. And, cost us the Champions League, another 100 million down the drain, as he did a year ago when he lost us the Champions League tie against Galatasaray, of course, guys, you know. So at the end of the day, what I would say is that I'm not a big fan of Onana. I like Onana as a person, but good people don't win you trophies. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. Stephen, Stephen, when they know United is in for them, the price goes up, wages, etc. But this is the exact point, Stephen. You know. Steve, you know, what I would say is that didn't we get these people in? Didn't we get Wilcox and Vivel and Barada and all these guys in to counter that? They're meant to be the kings of negotiation, right? Isn't it Barada? Isn't he the king of negotiations and things like that? Vivel is in there as well, of course, you know. I thought they had these people here to counter that, to try and erase this Manchester United tax, you know. Man United tax is always going to be there. But the one saving grace from everything is that many football clubs know we haven't got money. They know we haven't got money. They know we'll walk away. You know what I mean? This is the thing. LT, big up Sal. We shouldn't forget the overall budget is still controlled by the Glazers. So as much as the Ineos control the football side, they can't spend as they are so slow. Windows are so good. The problem is, LT, when Man United, and this is a thing that, it hasn't changed, right? When Man United want to buy a player, unless Ineos are using their own money, which they're not, right? When Man United want to buy a player, they have to send it to the Glazers. The Glazers have to approve it. And this is what has been slow over the last few years, and LT says it there. The last few years has been slow because Joel Glazer is still heavily involved in the Man United negotiations. He's still involved in signings and stuff like that. He was involved in the Erik ten Hag keeping of Erik ten Hag and the sacking of Erik ten Hag as well. When Man United want to buy a player, they agree a fee. Everything is all agreed. They send the deal off to the Glazers. The Glazers take ages to respond. This is what it is. They go through their own little legalities and stuff like that. That is what it is. When I blame Ineos is this. Ineos had a chance to step aside and let a full sale of the football club occur. Let the debt be cleared and we wouldn't be sitting here having this problem anymore. I know the Glazers are still involved in everything. I know that. They're in charge of the football club at the end of the day. So if Ineos want to spend money from the football club, they're going to have to run it by the Glazers who own the football club. Of course, it's no brainer. And this is what's taking time as well. So, no, I don't blame Ineos with that. I don't. But Ineos, they stepped into the ring. You know, they stepped into the ring with Tyson. You know what happens when you step in the ring with Tyson, don't you? That's what happens. At the end of the day, they should have stepped aside and they should have let Qatar buy the football club. And that is what should have happened. So, in a nutshell, ultimately, I blame them for that. But for the duration of these transfers, I look at things objectively, subjectively, of course. Afternoon, fan, how you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Rios is a beast, absolutely, fan, very much so. I like him a lot. I like him a lot, absolutely, very good player. Are we looking at Vanderson left back and Palmeiras and Wesley Franca right wing back at Flamengo? Vanderson's a Vanderland. Okay, sorry, I was thinking of Vanderson of Monaco, the right back. Yeah, we're also looking at Roger Fernandez as well. Franca Wesley, we've been looking at him for a little while. Spoke about him on the show a couple of weeks ago. Very good. Winger, right winger. That's what Man United need. Exactly what Man United need. Now, a lot of people talk about Ahmad, right? A lot of people talk about Ahmad playing on that right-hand side. I just don't think Ahmad has the defensive awareness to play that position. I think he's a fantastic attacker. I just don't think he has a defensive awareness in that position. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier, Man United talking about Igor Jesus, of course, guys. Igor Cruz, actually is his real name, but Igor Jesus. You know, Man United, we spoke about Igor Jesus, was it months ago now? Months ago, you know, on the show. And we do have scouts in America right now looking at players. Funny enough, you know what I mean? There you go. Lo and behold, we actually have scouts at a tournament, you know, that you can actually find cheap players and stuff like that. Wesley, big fan of him. Franca, absolutely big fan of him, my friend. Vanderson, I'm a big fan of Vanderson for me. I want Vanderson. I like Vanderson. Just been called out to the Brazil national squad, obviously, from Carlo Ancelotti. I'm a big fan of his, absolutely. Please look at the pushing more decent players, sell Sancho, and we'll get Watkins. Natty, Sal, do you think we are slowing because of the Glazers are there with footballing decisions? Yes, Natty. This is exactly what my guy was saying earlier on. And this is exactly truth. Man United still have to go run through these deals with the Glazers. The Glazers are still in charge of the football club. This is why we wanted a full sale. This is why we wanted the Glazers out. And we wanted Qatar in, or whoever wanted to buy the club fully. Because now everything has to be the middleman. Everything has to be in the middleman. We go to Brentford, we organize a deal, we work out, we negotiate, we work hard, get the deal done. Deal is done. Okay, now, Glazers, look, basically, this is what happens, right? Brentford, what do you want? We want 63 million plus 10 million on add-ons. Okay, let me get back to you. Joe, they want 63 million plus 10 million on add-ons. Okay, let me get back to you. Joe, Avram, they want 63 million plus 70 million on add-ons. Let me get back to you. Then Avram. Okay. Joe. Okay. Barada. Okay. Brentford. We changed our mind now. We want another 5 million on add-ons because, look, Tottenham are interested. They're willing to pay the money. Tottenham are interested, blah, blah, blah. And there we go again. It's like that, isn't it? And then it takes time. And that's what's taking time, you know. And this is why we did what the Glazers at the football club in the bloody first place, isn't it, at the end of the day? Watkins is, good afternoon, Sal. Big up, Jeff. What's going on? Afternoon, Sal. I guess we will hear news tomorrow during the day about Mbeumo. Hopefully, the blood pressure will come down a bit so we can get on to top of selling and then coming. Absolutely, Jeff. It's no point. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. Horrible things, nasty things. Round the corner from me at the moment, of course. So at the end of the day, look, you know what I would say? It's football. It's football, and we're here to enjoy each other. We enjoy this community and enjoy Manchester United and look forward to the season because we have an opportunity to do that at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And we should enjoy it. And that's it. And it's stressful. Man United are stressful. Man United got a habit of stressing us out. I think, as I said many times, especially this last 24 hours, the communication is null and void, which is the problem for me. I think that the Ineos and the Barada and all that, they need to cut out the PR. They need to cut out. Obviously, I heard the news about Barada saying we're going to get some of the deals done in August. If that was a fact, he's out of touch. He's out of touch with reality because Man United needs to get deals done quickly. Of course, big up, Jeff. Stephen, fed up, slow. See, too slow, mate. I agree. Too slow. They pulled off a rabbit out of the hat early. They got Cunha. I'm actually happy with Cunha and Bremer. If they were to be our new only signings, I'm happy with them, absolutely. But in regards to Cunha had a release clause, so it was no work to be done. He had a release clause; they could not reject the deal. They couldn't reject the offer, so that was an easy thing. When they have to actually work for a deal, they take too long. It's just so frustrating, isn't it? So frustrating. Absolutely. Big up, Charlie. By the way, Irfan. Woke up this morning, two little birds on my door. Then Brahma coming through that door. Absolutely. That is my message to you. Don't worry, fan, about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Absolutely, Bob Marley. When I was younger, my mum used to have all the vinyls of Bob Marley. I know I was raised with vinyls. I used to have these under the Commodores and all that, all that lovely stuff. Do you know what I mean? The Marvin Gaye and everything like that. I had the full shebang music runs in my family. And one of my favorite songs. And you know that song reminds me of is one of my favorite films, which is I Am Legend with Will Smith. That's one of my favorite films. Didn't know that, did you? That's one of my favorite films. I watched it about 100 times. I like that film, just the concept of that film. It gives you an element of peace and gratefulness, and humbleness, absolutely. Tybog, anywhere between 16 and 17 hours CET would be perfect time for me, Chatterboxes, to be honest. So that's Central European time, so that's 4 or 5. So 4 is 7. So that's good, 7 o'clock, right? I've got it. So 7 o'clock is good. Big up, Tybog. Because I want to catch people, obviously the members and stuff like that. I don't want to miss the show and stuff like that. Guys, as time goes on, when I go back to Europe and everything like that, I will be doing more shows. I'm going to be doing shows about other teams as well, by the way. I'll be doing a European show. I'll be doing shows about other clubs as well, more neutral thing as well. But obviously, primarily Man United, of course. Alex Ferguson, if it was the real one, yeah, absolutely. Marco Retigo is a striker need. Right, Michael Retigi is a fantastic striker, Alex Ferguson. So I feel weird saying that, but you know what I mean? It is Sir Alex Ferguson. He is a fantastic striker. But what I would say is that how do Atalanta do it? How do they get all these players through the door? What's going on there? Who's that walking through my door? Atalanta. How do they do it? They find all these great players. Lookman, oh my goodness me. Dick Halateres, whatever his name is, that guy. We need outgoing sales. Apart from Rasmus, I know a lot of people are going to throw at me. What about Rasmus? Absolutely. Beckham telling Rashford to shut the fuck up and pull up your socks. Irfan, my favorite ex-player is David Beckham, mate. Bro, my favorite ex-player is David Beckham because David Beckham is a realist. He actually loves Man United. He's the only one who speaks the truth. The one, he doesn't. There are players, ex-players that are either too much or too little or biased. David Beckham's not. David Beckham spits it how it is. This is why David Beckham wanted Qatar and everything. You know what I mean? He's the one saying, no, we need Qatar, we need to move forward and blah, blah, blah. Before the whole process happened. He said Man United need it. Unfortunately, Rashford needs to be quiet. Adam, good morning, good evening, good night. What's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? Big up, Sal. Who you think I'm getting this summer, long summer, yet going for Man United, mate? Big up, Adam. It's good to see you, mate. There's lots of things. I think we're going to get Mbeumo, mate, in regards. We're going to get a striker. And other than that, I think Man United might get a goalkeeper. I believe it. I don't think Man United are going to get all their business done this summer. I really don't. As frustrating as it might be. But then again, the window can change. It does change. Week by week, it does change. And deals become available. Certain situations happen and stuff like that. So, you never know, of course, absolutely. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Time to learn Arabic. Sanciolini. Sanciolini is Italian, no? Isn't it? Big up. Big up, Kenny. You can have Fenerbahce to the club, Sancho. I think they would have given him the wage he wants. They've never paid that amount of money, Yale. They've never paid that amount of money in their history. Fenerbahce have never paid. I think, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fenerbahce, and I've been to Turkey, but Fenerbahce have never paid over, I think, 100 grand a week. If I'm not wrong, I don't think they've ever done that. I don't think they're going to be paying 250 grand a week for Sancho. But I mean, it'd be good in Turkey. He might learn him a few things. It might culturalize him a little bit. Absolutely. LT, I was thinking that if the board meeting with the Glazers and the actual budget will be given to Ineos, which will give them a clearer strategy to how to attack the market, especially in the striker position. Absolutely, LT. Absolutely. They have to. The thing with the Glazers, I just believe when I see the Glazers are just slowing things down. The Glazers are not helping us at all. They just need to sell the football club and leave us alone. Basically, that's what they need to do. Benny, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We need the front three in before pre-season starts. Then a goalkeeper, mate. Enjoying the content. Keep up the good work, pal. Thank you so much, Benny. Big up yourself. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Really appreciate it. And it's a good comment. Yeah. We need three in before the pre-season. And I'm not going to be... Look, guys, we have to look at things in a realist point of view. We can't rush this window. The reason we can't rush it is because Man United can't get the wrong deals done. Right? And I say that. I know it's frustrating, but by the preseason, I would like a goalkeeper and three. Yeah, I would. That would be good by the preseason. So we can work on patterns of play up front and obviously have a competent goalkeeper in goal. But asking for 5, 6, 7 transfers by, it's unrealistic. We're just going to end up panic buying. At the moment, Man United want to get the right players. I hope that's what they're doing. They're trying to get the right players through the door. I hope that's what they're doing. And to be honest with you, what I would say is that I hope that they do have at least the striker position, the striker and the attackers ready for the preseason. So at the end of the day, if anything comes out of this, if we get the strikers and the number 10s in the club, it'd be exciting preseason, wouldn't it? Imagine watching Leeds United versus Man United on the 19th of July with Mbeumo, with Cunha and the striker. Maybe a goalkeeper, that'd be good as well, wouldn't it, at the end of the day? Big up, Betty. Good to see you, mate. Irfan, Sancho to Galatasaray incoming. Galatasaray is a different story, absolutely. Can we do a swap deal with Osman? Absolutely. Big up. Lucky Singh, big up, mate. Sniperman, I also remember Rashford saying Ronaldo is his idol. I mean, Rashford changes like the weather. He's also said other things as well in regards to who's his idol. Personally, I don't care. His idol should be on the training pitch. That's who his idol should be. His idol should be the training pitch, and his best favorite player of all time should be the dumbbells and the bloody treadmill. That's what it should be, because he needs to practice playing Friday football. You know what I mean? That's what he needs to do. That's who his idol should be. It's football. Daniel, big up. Biz FC on brink doing what they want every time. 12th in the Prem. What's that? Biz FC on brink on doing what they want every time. 12th in the Prem. Big up, Daniel, by the way. Thank you so much, mate. I don't know what you mean by that, my friend. But anyway, big up. Freedom Fighter will go. Let's go, Sal. Come on, Natty. I hope he does, mate. I hope he does. Sancho reminds me of the swindler, the Tinder swindler. Do you remember the Tinder swindler? My goodness me. Absolutely. Rashford like but a body blue, taking it from all angles and not getting what he wants. He's offering himself out there. He's put ads out and everything. You know what I mean? People are swiping past him. Swipe. Big up. Beef Bully. Big up, my friend. Good business is getting rid of Jade, and that would be good business. It will help. Not only in regards to a financial side of things, in regards to a team morale kind of thing. If he walks into the football club, with his negativity and his bad attitude, we don't want that, do we? At the end of the day, we don't want that, do we, guys? Absolutely. Big up, Jengas. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you, my legend. Hope you're well. Of course, you and family, of course. Darren, don't you just get fed up with the names of Rashford and Sancho? Darren, I hate it. Honest to God. Why do we always talk about the past? Why do we always bring up Cantona and Hughes and Giggs? And, when I think about Sancho and Rashford, the first feeling I get? Betrayal. I get betrayal. I get a feeling of fraud, scammer. I get that sort of feeling, you know what I mean? I get that sort of feeling. I don't feel like they're honest pros. I don't. I think they're in it for themselves, which is okay. But if you care about the football club as well, that is most important, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that pay your wages. I don't get that air of trust with them. I don't trust them, and that goes with a lot of players in that squad. I don't trust them. I don't trust them to put their foot in where it hurts when the going gets tough. To want to win, to have the will to win. I just don't get that. Sad, isn't it? Benny, get Sancho off the books and clear the 300 grand a week on wages, and he's on. That would be great, Benny, and it'd be help with our FFP and PSR. You know, that would be great. I mean, if we can get 55 million for Antony and Sancho, lovely. Getting the wages off the book, getting some money in there to go towards transfers, going for towards transfers. Can you imagine, guys, if I couldn't pronounce my R's? Transfers. You know transfers? What was it? Transfers. What name a club that starts with R? T and R. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, Benny. Yeah. Jeff, if I say it's our first game against Arsenal, going to decide how we go forward with the first team preseason is up to us. 2 incomings doesn't make a real difference. We need more outstanding players. Jeff, I agree with that. You know, can you imagine if we managed to get most of the players in, Jeff, by the start of the season when we play Arsenal? Can you imagine the buzz around Old Trafford? Can you imagine the energy around Old Trafford? I actually think if we got Cunha, but if we get Mbeumo as well, a striker, a midfielder, a goalkeeper, I think even those 3, if we manage to get Mbeumo, Cunha, and a striker, we're going to be on fire that game. I've got a feeling we're going to be on fire, and the crowd will be up for it, and I think Man United will win 2-0. Believe it, or 3-1. Earthan, he is. Big up, Darren. Good to see you, mate. Andy, FUTV mad. He knew what a great job you do. Andy, FUTV mad. Big up, my friend. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, Andy. And thank you so much for joining Stretford Post. Don't forget to smash the like, my guy, and spread the word. And big up FUTV and big up all those guys over there. Big up yourself and big up Adam Matic, isn't it? Yeah, big up yourselves. Hope you're well. Have a great evening, night, evening, wherever you are, my friend. Absolutely. Brian Mbeumo, big up Brian Mbeumo. Imagine you couldn't pronounce. Imagine my name was Jonathan Ross. You know, if you know Jonathan Ross. He's a presenter in England, right? He's been there going on. He can't pronounce his R's, so he will say Brian. Not that there's an R in Brian Mbeumo, but it'd be like Brian Mbeumo. Absolutely. Big up Brian Mbeumo, my guy. Absolutely. Whoever thought that Sancho would become a squad player in the EPL, we don't want him at the end of the day. You know, Sancho's the sort of person who'll give you a hug, right? And then push your nan down the stairs. That's what Sancho would do. He's that sort of guy. He'll push your nan down the stairs. I shouldn't laugh, but that's what he do. That's what Jadon Sancho would do. He's that sort of guy. Push your nan down the stairs. You know what I mean? He'd be like, "Oh, can I just hold your arm?" He goes, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll hold your arm." Buff. That's Jadon Sancho. I don't advocate that sort of thing. That's nasty. But anyway, I'm just saying, absolutely. Big Bully, totally agree with you there. What some deals will happen, others won't. Also, I'll say we'll have a last minute player pull out. Yeah, probably. We'll probably mess up one, wouldn't we, Billy? I mean, there wouldn't be anything without that, isn't it? Did we mess up the last season? It was a Jareth Branthwaite one, but thankfully we ended up getting Lenny Yoro. So maybe that was a blessing. Well, it was a blessing in disguise, to be honest, isn't it? That was a blessing in disguise, absolutely. Paul, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Everyone is putting Hoyland, but given the fact we brought in Cunha and Mbeumo, he will start scoring again a better service. Paul, Gory, my guy. At the end of the day, I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. I like Rasmus. People who know me, I've spoken to Rasmus on Instagram a couple of times. I like Rasmus. I feel for him. And the reason I feel for Rasmus is because he was brought into a situation that was not his fault, right? What I would say is that being responsible for scoring goals for Man United in a toxic environment, in the hot pressure cooker that is Old Trafford, it is incredibly difficult. But unfortunately, nature of the beast is that you don't get time at clubs like Man United. You just don't get the time. And you need to make something happen. And sometimes, I'll give you an example, right? The game against Hong Kong, Man United against Hong Kong. Chido got the ball, chested it down, turn, shoot, score, right? He made it happen himself. What I want to see from Rasmus is this kind of thing. Make it happen for yourself sometimes. Sometimes it's not going to fall for you, but just do something. Bury one in the top corner for 30 yards. Something like that. That's what I want to see from him. But as you said there, Paul, absolutely right. You know, we have Cunha and we have Mbeumo. And as I said in earlier show, I said that it just takes a spark to ignite something. Do you know what I mean? It takes a spark to ignite something serious. And someone like Mbeumo and Cunha, you know, could help Rasmus at the end of the day. It could help him. Who knows? I do believe that he does have... I'll be honest with you, though, Paul. I do believe that he does need someone there, like an experienced player there, to nurture from, to learn from, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? I do believe. Because one thing I remember, when Ruben van Nistelrooy was the interim manager of Man United, wasn't Rasmus scoring a little bit? He was scoring a few goals, wasn't he? You know, someone to learn from. Of course. Big up, mate. Big up. Jeff, Rashford wants Barca, Sancho, Napoli. Damn, just get deals over there with the so sure for a few bucks. Absolutely, Jeff. Love it, my friend. Absolutely. Andy, we should have kept Scott McTominay. He has the United DNA and would have been amazing under Ruben Amorim. Andy, you know what? It's interesting to see the butterfly effect, isn't it? It's the butterfly effect. If Man United didn't sell Scott McTominay, what would have happened? You know, and bringing in Ruben Amorim, coincidentally and funny enough, he's the sort of player that fits his system, isn't it? Can play in that position just behind the front too. You know what I mean? I'm very pleased for Scott McTominay. I'm happy for him. Napoli's a club close to me. My wife's from Naples and stuff. My in-laws. You know, I'm very happy for what he's achieved, and well played to him. He deserves it. He works hard for Man United. He understood what it meant to wear the badge at least. But unfortunately, I think that ship is south now, and I think he's not going to be coming back to Man United anytime soon. Loving life in Naples, of course. Yeah, so best of luck to him. But yeah, you know, there were many more players that should have left before him. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Ben Jacobs, big up Ben Jacobs. Been on the channel twice. I've got a lot of respect for Ben Jacobs. You know, been doing very well this summer. Been absolutely killing it this summer. Absolutely. Paul, bring in a goalkeeper is must because Onana is useless, and there will be goals like Mbeumo and Cunha, Canacho, and Greedy Hoyland deserves a kebab. Paul, I absolutely agree with you, because at the end of the day, you're not going to win. We're not going to win 3 or 4-0 every single game, are we? We don't even win 3 or 4-0 every single season. So what I would say is that when the games are tight, right? When the game's 0-0 and we need a goal, or the game is 1-0 to Man United. Let's say, for argument's sake, it's 1-0 to Man United. We're in the top 4. We need to defend. It's a corner for Aston Villa, for example. You know, Onana comes out, flaps the ball, falls to the Aston Villa player. Rodgers in the back of the net. 1-1. We lose 2 points. That is the difference between a good and bad goalkeeper. And we know, growing up with Peter Schmeichel, you know, how important a good goalkeeper was. How many games does Peter Schmeichel win us, you know, over the years? And that's what I would emphasize. I cannot underestimate how important a goalkeeper is, as you say, Paul. Onana's just not that guy. We all know how long it took Alex Ferguson to replace Peter Schmeichel. The problem as we have is that Alex Ferguson could buy Massimo Tibi. Alex Ferguson could buy Fabian Barthez. Alex Ferguson could buy Tim Howard. Alex Ferguson could buy Carroll. The thing is, we had the luxury of try it, doesn't work, remove it. Try it, doesn't work, remove it. The problem with Man United now is like we have to hit hole in one. That's what Man United have to do. We have to hit a hole in one, and if Onana doesn't work, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to play him, make it work. That's basically what it is at the moment. You know, sadly. Paid way too much for him. Was it 50 million? My goodness me. Big up. Brian and Mbeumo, great news. Come on, Manchester United. Big up, Kevin. Big up, my friend. It's coming soon, my friend. Don't worry, we got that one through the door, but we need more, of course. Sal, what do you think about people criticising Brent, Mark Goldbridge, even if United's official Discord? They say he's a Forest fan and he is only of things standing United on greatness. Look, let me tell you something about this, right? I know Mark Goldbridge for 7 years, right? No, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I don't like talking behind people's backs. I really don't. But what I would say is that blaming him for Man United's demise is exactly the problem at Man United. They're not concentrating on the real problems. They're not looking at the real problem at Man United. They're not looking at what actually is the problem and looking at people like Mark Goldbridge. Do you know what I mean? You know? Best of luck to him. He does what he does. And he's good at what he does. And you know what? I think people, you've got to understand it. At the end of the day, he's a human being. And that's what we have to understand and give the guy a break, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? I just feel like people just want a scapegoat. You know, that's it at the end of the day. You know, it's just ridiculous. Kevin, Brian and Mbeumo, great news. Come on, Manchester United. Big up, Kevin. Big up, Kevin, my friend. Big up yourself. The club will announce then the second strip comes out on the 27th of June. Classic publicity sales. Absolutely. On that note, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. The people who are new, thank you so much for joining the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Also, guys, please don't forget to smash a like on the video. It helps with the algorithms. You know, YouTube, it likes the algorithm. I don't like asking for things, but please, could you do that for me? And also, guys, don't forget to put the notifications on because you never know when you're going to go live, do you? These days, especially. Guys, thank you for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox, and I'll be back for Breaking Dawn tomorrow morning, guys. 7 o'clock UK time. I'll be here 10 o'clock Middle Eastern time, guys. So take it easy. Have a great night. Fingers crossed everything will. And guys, sleep tight. Take it easy. Peace.